Hi, and welcome to our podcast, The Musician and the Counsellor.
You're listening to Jess
and Erin.
We love empowering women to express and connect with their natural creative identities in all its forms. Whether it's low self-esteem, everyday stresses, or unhealthy relationships, we're here to talk through some of these barriers to help women succeed in all they strive for.
We are so excited to talk all things confidence, mental health, and creativity as we share this journey with you. Whether you want to dance, sing, or be your true, authentic self, we're going to get you there.
So let's get started.
We're back.
Yes, we're back with some ponderings.
Ponderings indeed.
Yes. So some of my background is in addictions, and our approach is more of a harm reduction approach rather than abstinence based. So that's about, if you're going to use drugs, which a lot of people do, we know the war on drugs hasn't worked, so we're just being real about that. We talk to people about how they can keep safe if they are using them. And when we're talking about that, we talk about set and setting. And that popped into my mind today. So when we're talking about set and setting, set refers to mindset.
Mindset.
Yes, exactly right. Mindset. And setting refers to environment.
Network and people and friends and actual physical safe environment.
100%.
Yeah.
Exactly that. So we need both in order to create a sense of safety. For example, and I'm not condoning drug use here, I'm just using an example. If somebody is going to take acid, then it wouldn't be recommended to do that if you're in a negative mindset to begin with, if you're feeling depressed and down and out and things like that. It's also not advised to do that if you're around people that you don't feel safe with. You're not in a safe physical environment, for example, you don't have a plan. So I thought about this in terms of life in general. There's a lot of stuff out there about mindset, and some people are really working actively on their own personal mindset and on their own personal growth, and they're really working hard towards that. It's really uncomfortable to also think about needing to change your environment at the same time.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to reach your goals when you're in a difficult environment. It's not impossible, but it definitely makes it easier when you are around people who do believe in you, or are at least in the same arena as you. And I use this analogy all the time, and I love it, when it's actually a Brene Brown analogy. When you're in the arena, you are paying attention to the opinions of the people who are kicking around in the dirt with you, and not really the people who are the bystanders on the outside rim, right? So it would go back to that as far as a creative mindset goes. If you were to go out and try pottery, for an example, firstly, we need to actually have the idea that we can do pottery, even if it's terrible. We want to try it, we get curious about it. But if you went and booked a pottery class and, say, your partner or best friend or parent or sibling said, "Oh, that's really lame, why would you do that? It's such a waste of money," you might then rethink if you were going to book another class.
Yeah, absolutely. The people that you surround yourself with have a huge impact on your self-confidence, on a whole range of things. They can influence your mindset. And so in certain circumstances, maybe it's not that you need to necessarily end the relationship with those people.
Can't do pottery in a kitchen that we have food in. We might need to have it in an environment where we can safely make a mess with pottery, and we need all the tools for the pottery, and we need to be wary of the chemicals for pottery. There's a lot of stuff around that. You've got to create your safe environment first.
Yes.
Before you actually go to do the thing, because it's going to make it very hard to want to do it again if the first thing you do is creating some issues for, damaging your own health or mental state or emotional state.
Yeah, 100%. Exactly right. I really like that example of pottery because, we're all about creative expression and how it can foster that creativity. And
we want to plant the seed in fertile soil.
Yes.
We got to water the seed, otherwise it's not going to grow, and we can't expect it to be a tree the next day.
Yeah, yep. And sometimes that's about
We pour
pruning
acid
those
on the
weeds.
seed, it's going to die.
Yeah.
Again, not condoning drug use.
Yeah, yeah. So lots of things to think about. It goes both ways. It's about, changing your environment. So whether or not that's changing the types of people that you're around, or setting stronger boundaries with those people, changing the relationships that you have with those people, for example. Yes, it's about your physical environment as well, and your mindset. Another aspect to this is you can't just change your environment and not focus on your mindset either. When I was younger, I was in a terrible relationship, and I thought moving states would somehow change that, and I stayed with the person. So it was also necessarily to work on my own self and things like that. So if we're bringing it back to that creative expression, what would an example be for you, for example, in working on your own mindset?
Yeah, as a music teacher with my singing students, I have created a meditation audio that is affirmations just around actually believing that you can sing and that you are allowed to be heard and that it's safe to express your singing voice. So with that, I've accompanied EFT tapping, emotional freedom technique, maybe to block some of the old programming you may have around wanting to progress. But as we start, you've got to remember there's always going to be the excitement, maybe the first couple of weeks, and then maybe some of those things in your environment could affect you continuing and staying on track with that. That's why having an affirmation chart might help. I have a daily practice chart for all my students. I give out like a 30-day practice challenge, try and get a habit going, and then also emailing their parents to say, hey, this would be a really good idea for you to do this with your child at home, so that the whole family's getting involved. And the ones that get on board with that, their children, oh my gosh, they just bloom, and it's so wonderful to see. And I wish I had this more when I was a kid, for my parents getting involved with me and doing the affirmations with me and doing meditation and really work on the mindset around the singing as well as the actual techniques of singing. Because for me, it was just like, go to your room and practice.
Yeah, people, and just in life in general as well, a lot of our parents didn't really, like everyone's doing their best with what they know and have at the time, but they also didn't have the skills to teach us about mindset and confidence, and they weren't necessarily connected to their emotions to know about all that. So.
Or maybe it brings up their own uncomfortable past with what they did and tried and were unable to do. And I do see that in a lot of parents and their students and their children. They'll put their dreams on their children and maybe push their child to do something that they didn't get to do.
Yeah.
And the kid doesn't want to do it.
Yeah.
But in learning that, it's still a great space to be creative and to try a new thing.
Yeah.
So I do as much as I can to support the child in the lesson with that.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah. Exactly right. Super important, the things that we can do to work on that mindset. It might be affirmations, it could be going to therapy, getting support around that. It could be a lot of self-reflection and having the courage to face your own stuff.
Or joining a group that are doing it together in a community.
Yeah, I'm running a Healthy Habits program at the moment where we start our days with meditations, and that focuses on some of this mindset stuff and self-discovery stuff as well.
Getting an accountability buddy.
Yeah, getting that accountability together as a group, which is really good. So and surrounding yourself with that right environment, the right people, the right physical environment to really nurture, nourish that soil and help us thrive and grow. So something so important to me.
Set
and setting.
And setting.
That's right.
Thanks for listening today. And if you have any comments or would like to share your own experience of mindset and your environment, please contact us or comment below. Thanks for joining us on Sound of Self. We hope you've connected with today's content.
If you've enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to our podcast and leave us a review. Stay tuned for more empowering conversations and practical tips in our upcoming episodes.